Let's now go to the National Collation Center in Abuja, where INEC's National Commissioner in charge of voter education and publicity, Dr. Festus Okoye, now joins us. Dr. Okoye, thank you for joining us on Arise News. Well, very quickly, let me ask.
Thank you so much.
Yes, one major concern in many parts of Lagos and in other polling units is that results were not uploaded as promised from polling units. Now that delay, the fear of many voters is that those results, those figures could be manipulated as a result of that delay. And INEC has not been able to give a concrete explanation so far why results were not uploaded real time as promised before the election.
Well, the commission will give an explanation. This commission is a public trust. This commission is a Nigerian People's Commission. We have always been very upfront with information and with explanations relating to issues and processes and procedures in the electoral process. So there were a little bit of delay in terms of uploading polling unit level results into our INEC result viewing portal. So I think at the appropriate time, the chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission may offer an explanation relating to that. Or if he is not offering an explanation, the commission may likely issue a statement to clarify why there was that little delay. But I am aware that by 10 p.m. yesterday, all the results of from the various polling units have started coming in. So I think that Nigerians, we ask for a little patience, but these results will keep on coming in, and we are confident that with the measures we have put in place and also with the action we have taken, that the bulk of the results will come in.
It'll be interesting to know when we can expect to hear from the chairman on that. But Mr. Okoye, there are also concerns about people who voted without accreditation due to technical issues with the BIVAS system, resulting in a difference of votes that were cast and accredited votes. In one specific instance, based on an email that Arise got hold of, by the way, that was sent from a presiding officer at polling units 120 in VGC, it's claimed that 58 people voted without BIVAS accreditation. What is the faith of such a polling unit, and can you tell us more about this situation?
Well, the law, Section 47, subsection 2 of the Electoral Act 2022 makes it mandatory that for anybody who appears at the polling unit on election day, that the presiding officer must use the BIVAS for purposes of voter accreditation and verification. So anybody that does not pass through the BIVAS and is issued with a ballot, what that means is that the voting in that particular polling unit cannot stand because they have engaged in overvoting. And overvoting occurs when there's a discrepancy between the accredited voters and the number of ballots that are cast in the ballot box. So in such instance, that particular balloting in that particular polling unit ought to be cancelled. And if it's not cancelled at the level of the polling unit, it will be cancelled when it gets to the registration area collation center.
Earlier on this program, Dr. Okoye, we had our reporter Obadioye reporting from the Lekki axis, where there were protests by persons who said that in the Tiosa local government yesterday, they couldn't vote. They were tactically disenfranchised, and they are calling on INEC to organize fresh elections to accommodate those persons who were disenfranchised in some of the polling units in that area. Is INEC likely to consider their request? And secondly, you talked about 10 p.m. yesterday when INEC received the results. Now, the report, some of the papers today are reporting that results were uploaded by about 11 p.m. yesterday from about 20,000 polling units across the country. But by 7 a.m. this morning, that same portal, the IREV, that whatever was uploaded had disappeared. So why did INEC shut down its portal? What were the reasons for this?
Well, I'm not aware that the portal has been shut. I'm also aware that I checked the portal this morning, and the portal was still on. So I'm not aware that at any
Were there
point in
results
time,
there? Were there results
the portal
uploaded?
was shut.
No, were there results uploaded? The issue was that they
definitely,
couldn't
yes.
find results there. Please go
No,
ahead.
there are results uploaded in the portal. At least I saw senatorial election results. I saw House of Representative election results, and I also saw presidential election results. So it cannot be true, and it's not correct that the commission shut down this portal after the portal came on. That is not true. Now, relating to your first question, this commission is a product of the Constitution and also a product of the law. And we also have our regulations and guidelines relating to how issues will be dealt with when they arise. If, for instance, the commission did not deploy at all out of our own making, our regulations and guidelines demands that we should go back and give the people the chance to exercise their democratic franchise. But if, for instance, the commission deploys and due to community connivance, we were prevented from using the BIVAS, or we were prevented from deploying, the regulations and guidelines presupposes that we will take it that every person in that particular polling unit has voted and all the political parties got 0 votes. And so there are different scenarios in our regulations and guidelines. So it depends on the application of each one. But these things are done at the level of the local governments by the electoral officers making a report to the resident electoral commissioner. And the resident electoral commissioner will now take a decision on where we need to go back and where we do not need to go back based on our regulations and guidelines. And then some other ones are also taken at the level of collation, taking into consideration the concept of the margin of lead. If the places where elections have not taken place will affect the outcome of the elections and whether it will not affect the outcome of the election. So each case is taken based on its own specific issue and specific circumstances. So it depends on the specific circumstance arising in each case. Then the resident electoral commissioner may demand that the law should be applied and we should proceed in accordance with the way the law has designed it.
Mr. Okoye, firstly, the online portal where results are being uploaded to, why are login details required for this process? For the sake of transparency, shouldn't this be a portal that's open to everyone in the public to be able to go on through a website link and take a look at the results? That's number one. And number two, all of the issues that we're speaking about with regards to electoral violence, BIVAS not uploading certain results, most of these issues have been reported in the south of the country. We've had very few reports about this from the north, where elections seem to have been a lot more peaceful, with limited issues with the technology. This is also a technology that we have seen work before. It worked during state elections that it was tried out in, yet issues are now arising when it comes to the presidential and National Assembly elections, particularly presidential, where results couldn't be uploaded for presidential, but could be uploaded for National Assembly. Why is this the case? Can you please address this? Because it does seem as though there are far more issues going on in the south than there are in the north, or at least that's where the bulk of issues are being reported. But first of all, the online portal, why are login details required?
Well, if you ask me about login details, my knowledge of technology is very, very limited. So if in relation to the issue of login details, I may have to go back to the ICT people to ask them why people require login details before they can get into our portal. There may be reasons, I'm sure there are reasons why people require login details, but I've not, when I'm also logging in, I give my own login details. So it's a technical issue, and my technical knowledge in relation to technology is really limited. So I won't even hazard a guess. But in terms of the other issue you raised, I'm also very, very careful about looking at issues from the point of view of regions, from the point of view of zones, and also from the point of view in terms of the dominant narratives in the country. There is no doubt whatsoever, and we have acknowledged it, that there were issues in different parts of the country. insecurity affected our deployment. The issue of transportation affected our deployment. The issue of some of the ad hoc staff backing out at the last moment also affected our deployment. And so there were various and variegated issues that affected this particular election. But in terms of whether results are being uploaded from a particular part of the country and not uploaded from a particular part of the country, and whether issues were dominant in a particular part of the country and not dominant in other ones, I'm not sure that I have the capacity to do those narratives. But if issue arises, we deal with that particular issue based on our own understanding of that particular issue, and also based on our own appreciation of how to resolve those issues. And so we resolve issues based on where they occur, whether they occur at the level of the polling unit, at the level of the local government, at the state level, or at the national level. And so if any issue arises, we try to deal with that particular issue without looking at whether the thing has an ethnic or religious coloration. That ethnic and religious coloration does not play a role in our resolution of issues and our appreciation of what is going on in the country.
Dr. Okoye, one other major concern in this election has been underage voting. And there was a particular case of underage voting reported from Kano. And I guess the police commissioner in that state was saying there was nothing he could do about it. One young boy in a video was interviewed, and he was asked, where is his PVC? He brought out the PVC. What is INEC doing about that kind of case? And why has there been no statement about polling units in Lagos and Rivers where voting did not take place? And third, Jemima Boloko, our correspondent in Delta State, reported earlier on that in at least one particular polling unit in Delta State, that voting materials had not arrived as at 2 p.m. today. Accreditation had also not been done as at 2 p.m. today. We had that on the screen earlier on. One would have thought that if the election is going to be held today, that INEC will have learned from the errors of yesterday.
Well, on the issue of underage voting that you mentioned, if you recall, this debate has been going on, and this issue arose when we displayed the voters register for claims and objections after we completed the continuous voters registration exercise. And we told the nation that we are also concerned about the issue, and that we have been using our own processes and procedures to remove visibly underage voters from our register. And in some of the places where some of our officers registered underage voters, we pulled them in, and they have been facing disciplinary proceedings. And we also concluded that the moment we complete our own internal processes, if we make a determination that there has been an infraction, that we put them in and also prosecute them in accordance with the law. The voters register we went into this election with is robust, and it's also a voters register that we have confidence in. But we have never said that our voters register is 100% perfect. It is a work in progress. We will continue to make sure that we clean up the voters register and get it ready and make sure that our voters register is very, very good. In terms of some of the issues he raised, where elections are supposed to take place and are not taking place, and so on. These things are state-specific. The only one that the chairman of the commission dealt with more the two issues he dealt with specifically. One relates to the issue of elections in Yenagoa, where we had 141 polling units where elections did not take place. And then the chairman made that particular announcement, and also in I think 2 federal constituencies where we had to countermand the election because of one challenge or the other. So these were the two issues the chairman mentioned. But in terms of proceeding, in terms of whether elections takes place in a particular state, those issues have to be harvested at the state level, and then the states ought to apply the law as it is in terms of proceeding. But the ones you pointed out, when I go back to our situation room, I will table it, and then we look at it and find out why our election duty personnel are not there and election materials are not there. So the moment I get back to the situation room, I will put it on the table and we look at it, and then we will take the right decision that will be in the interest of the nation and also in the interest of all the registered voters in those places that are affected.
Can you also, sorry, Dr. Abasi, just one thing. Can you also find out in the Situation Room why online login details are required for people to view the ongoing counting of results? I think it would be great for the public to have clarity on that.
Yes, I will ask the ICT people, and it will also be for my own education.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Festus Okoye, for joining us on Nigeria Decides 2023 here on the Arise News Channel.